Generation got cheap. Verification is the bottleneck, and you can't review an agent's output the way you reviewed your own. Welcome to AI Tech Book. Today, why verification became the bottleneck, and how to review an agent's work at scale without drowning in it. For a generation, writing the code was the hard part. Getting it down correctly was the slow step you optimized your whole career around. Agents made that part cheap and fast, but the work didn't disappear. It moved. Now the slow part is downstream, making sure what got generated is actually right. So the bottleneck didn't go away. It relocated from the keyboard to the review. And here's the consequence. Most teams miss optimizing generation further doesn't help anymore. The constraint is verification now. Squeeze the part that's already fast, and nothing gets faster. And the data says we haven't adjusted. There's a gap between how much we trust AI code and how much we actually check it. A 2026 survey of over 1,000 developers found this. 96% don't fully trust AI-generated code, but only 48% always verify before they commit. That space between distrust and checking is the verification gap, where the bugs live. And it's not small. AI already writes about 42% of committed code, heading for 65% by 2027. We distrust the output and ship it anyway. So why don't people check it? Because it's harder than it looks. The dangerous failure isn't a crash. It's code that looks right and is subtly wrong. A bug that crashes is easy, the error tells you. The dangerous one compiles, passes its tests, reads cleanly, and quietly does the wrong thing. To catch it, you can't just scan the code. You have to reconstruct what it was supposed to do, then check whether it does that. That's why 38% of developers say reviewing AI code takes more effort than reviewing a colleague's. With a colleague, you can ask why. With the agent's output, you're reverse engineering intent from a diff. Green tests prove it does something, not that it does the right thing. So why not read every line? The instinct is to read every line. With agent output, that instinct breaks. Here's the trap. You learn to review by reading line by line. Because you wrote at human speed and reviewed at human speed, and the two matched. Agents broke the match. The output now arrives faster than anyone can read it. There's far more of it. And you didn't write it, so you don't carry the context you'd have for your own code. Reading every line was always expensive. At this volume, it's simply impossible. So the answer isn't to read faster, it's to change what review means. The new review question isn't, is every line okay? It's, is this the right change? Old review asked, line by line, is each statement correct? New review asks two different questions. What was this change supposed to do, and does it? And what must stay true no matter what? The invariants. And does it preserve them? You're reviewing the change's behavior against intent, not auditing characters. And that's a review you can actually do at agent scale, because the invariants are few, even when the lines are many. Verify the few, not the many, and write the invariants down. But your eyes still can't be the gate. So what is? Your eyes don't scale with generation. Executable gates do. The move is to make the machine do the reading. Push the verification into gates. A type checker that proves the shapes line up. Tests that pin behavior. Property checks that assert your invariants across many inputs. And for fuzzer work, an evil suite that scores the output. Each gate is an oracle that runs at generation speed, not reading speed. What survives all of them reaches a human, who spends their scarce attention on the one thing a machine can't check, the intent. Build the gate stack. Let the machine verify the mechanics. Save the human for intent. Get this right or wrong, and the same tool gives opposite results. The same AI makes a strong team stronger and a weak team worse. The difference is verification. DORA's 2025 report makes this concrete. Across thousands of developers, AI now lifts throughput and product performance, but it has a negative relationship with stability. Acceleration exposes whatever weakness is downstream, unless you have robust control systems, a strong automated testing, mature version control, fast feedback. So AI is an amplifier. Drop it on a team with strong verification, and both speed and stability rise. Drop it on a team without, and you just ship the bugs faster. The tool doesn't decide which your gates do. So where do teams quietly let the bugs through? 4 traps, each one widens the verification gap. 1, rubber stamp the diff because it's long and looks fine. That's the 48% problem, shipping what you don't trust. 2, treat green tests as proof of intent. They prove it runs, not that it's right. 3, scale the agents with no evil gate. You just amplify the bugs. 4, review the agent's output like it's your own code, line by line. It isn't yours, and you can't read it all. Every trap trusts a surface signal over a real verification. Verify intent, build the gate, and review the change, not the characters. So the answer, how do you work when generation is free? Generation is cheap. Make verification the gate. Stop optimizing the part that's already fast. Review the change against intent and invariants, not line by line. Push the mechanical checks into executable gates, types, tests, properties, evals that run at generation speed. And reserve your scarce human judgment for the one question a machine can't answer. Is this the right thing to build? Generation is cheap. Verification is the job. The whole shift, one screen, the bottleneck moved from writing to verifying. The gap is real. Most developers distrust AI code, but don't always check it. The failure looks right and is subtly wrong. So verify intent and invariants, not lines. Push the checks into executable gates. And remember, AI is an amplifier. It scales your discipline for better or worse. Generation is cheap. Verification is the job. That's why verification is the bottleneck. If this reframed how you review, share it with one person drowning in agent diffs. Subscribe to AI Tech Book. That closes our migration series from switching tools to cutting over data to changing how you work. Thanks for building with us.